Alright.
Only who can prevent forest fires?
Shovel Knights.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Welcome to the arcade.
Oh boy, Z, it's your favorite. Doing things in the dark. Why do the little flame people not generate light? Like, they generate light where they are, but you can already see them pretty well. You can't pogo on them. They're on fire.
Man. Oh, man. So last episode we were talking about, like, game design and hard games and that sort of thing. And I've got to confess that I'm still playing a game that I was playing probably the last time we put some episodes together. And that is, of course, Breath of the Wild.
What? Didn't we do a demo episode of that, like, in the winter where it was cold out?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean,
what? How are you still playing that? Not because it's a bad. I mean, I would have thought that having that much time put into it and putting it in a regular amount that you'd have finished by now.
Well, I mean, thanks to the DLC, I can safely say that I've probably clocked in, and also, you know, the Wii U's game tracker feature. Clocked in something like 170 or so hours into it.
What? That's like half as much time as I put in across all games of TF2. And that's over a year. Whoa, hold on. Yeah, how are you not done yet? I'm more confused now.
Gotta get all those shrines, all those tasty shrines.
I mean, I would probably also explore all the things if I had Breath of the Wild, but I'm just like, still quite surprised. That's a lot of content.
Well, I mean, like, I'm getting to the point now in the game, and this isn't to throw shade at it, because it's a fantastic game, otherwise I wouldn't have spent so long with it. But... did you ever play Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
I didn't get all the bugs.
No, well, this isn't about getting all the bugs, just kind of about a general observation. Maybe it's just me. But, like, once you got to a certain point in the game, the overworld kind of felt a little empty.
That's fair.
And Breath of the Wild being as big a game as it is, like, spatially even, kind of has that same issue. I mean, it's like, obviously I should probably be using the horses more. Just doing a lot of running around.
You could be riding on bears.
I could be. Bears are hard to control, though. And bears, like bucks, once you jump off, they run away.
Yeah, but then you can be a really cool dude. Because you're riding on a bear.
It reminds me of a video I saw of somebody playing Breath of the Wild riding on a bear, and they had like a torch or something, and they were going through a forest, so the forest was catching fire behind them.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just one of the many things you can do in that crazy game.
I bet the forest had it coming.
Well, maybe. I mean, once a blood moon came around, the forest would regrow anyway. Because
is that how that works?
Yeah.
Are blood moons a thing in the game?
Yes.
In Terraria, blood moons mean the goblins come to your house.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
The goblin army comes to your house. I was really into Terraria when it started, and I kind of stopped playing it. It's like a sandboxy kind of game. Oh, he's getting wise to your shenanigans. Actually, you're doing pretty well if you can survive a little bit longer.
Ah, dang. I was trying to activate the locket.
Yeah, that's a shame. You were so close.
I know, right?
Prince Endymion, no.
No.
The Millennium Golden Crystal.
No, not that.
It's weird, because it's all snowy, but then you come here and then it's like, hey, forest.
Anyway, though, on a little bit more on topic from last episode.
Oh, about hard levels?
Well, yeah, about hard levels, more about design.
Oh, okay.
One of the complaints that I've heard a lot about with Breath of the Wild is that the dungeons, since there are 4 sort of dungeony things, were just too easy. And I would have to agree, but like not necessarily in a bad way. They still basically the design is that you're going through these 4 ancient machines.
That already sounds very cool.
Yeah, right? The concept is awesome. It's just like, as far as the dungeons go, they're not necessarily reflective of, you know, the sort of, I guess, traditional Zelda sort of...
See, you've wisened up. I don't know if you're going to make it. There's a lot of health you need to take him down.
Yep, I'm done. Anyway, but there's like a long tradition of, you know, there being like an ice temple and a forest temple and a water temple and all these different elements. And even though there are these 4 different machines, they don't really reflect any sort of different elements or anything like that. So it's not as it's a really cool concept, but the dungeons themselves don't really have much that's different from, say, the shrines that you find.
Well, you can take them on in any order, right?
Yeah.
Which, that's not always the case in Zelda games.
No. Like, there are ways to sequence break in the other games with, like, little minor glitches or, you know, little workarounds for getting to areas you're not supposed to get to yet.
You can reflect those, by the way.
Yeah, my timing just was not
just
great for
just
that
checking.
one. Nope, wrong thing. Or it wasn't the right thing.
No, it was the wrong thing. Oh wow, those are pretty effective too. Right, so not a lot of differentiation between the different things.
No.
Oh, just 2 more hits! Just whack him on the face!
Cool.
Oh, it was DuckTales where that happened, where you had beaten the boss, and then it's like, cool, but you died, though.
Yeah, DuckTales. Anyway, the other thing I gotta say about Breath of the Wild, really enjoying it, but really disappointed that there aren't more secret tunnels connecting things. Like in Twilight Princess, there were maybe 2 or 3 tunnels that, like, cut through the entirety of Hyrule almost, and there's just these long underground passages that were very mysterious and interesting. There's nothing like that in Breath of the Wild.
I guess I didn't play through Twilight. I don't remember there being any tunnels, but I don't remember much about...
They weren't a big part of the story or anything. They just really stuck... Like, they're just one of those things. You'd be in the field, and you'd blow away some rocks, and then you'd find this tunnel, and you'd be like, oh man, where's this go? And it would take you across the map. So, but that just really stuck out to me.
Ah!
Whew.
That's fair.
Yeah. And now I'll just step off my Zelda soapbox.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, hello everyone, welcome to, we play not Breath of the Wild, but we talk about it. Oh man. I was gonna ask what your favorite Zelda game is. We actually, when we were playing Breath of the Wild, we talked a lot about Zelda games, so.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember... No, in DuckTales you don't get new abilities. And in Darkwing Duck I don't think you do either. And you don't do it in Shovel Knight either. That's fine. I was trying to think... Because Shovel Knight is very much like an amalgam of all the different Capcom games. It's like Mega Man, it's like DuckTales, it's all those classic NES games rolled into its own unique thing, where you fight some Viking dude who's got a giant beard and a spear. Sorry.
No, Vikings.
Yeah. Sorry, the parallax background is really cool here too, because you've got all these different levels of trees and they just kind of like fold into each other. He's got a helmet on. You can't hit him with a helmet on.
Oh, but I can do my power bounce on his head and then get the wizard's key and...
You and that wizard's key.
No.
Right, I was talking about... but in this game you beat the different bosses and they don't give you a like power-up related to the boss.
Yeah.
You get, if you find that character... if you find Jack Sparrow in every level, he'll give you an item.
Yep, for a price.
A relic for a price, yeah. I think there's also an achievement for beating the game without getting any of the relics.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
There's like, I don't know, probably... I don't remember how many achievements there are. There's a lot. some of them I found very hard to try to accomplish. Because it's like, I don't really want to beat the game without the relics. The relics make the game more enjoyable.
Yeah, they vary things up. You know, you can find your favorite and just kind of like maybe cheese the game a little bit with it.
Oh yeah. My favorite was probably the invulnerability.
That's not fast enough.
I mean, you don't have to kill them.
No, but I mean, I did spend some magic, so it'd be probably good to get that back. And get those little gems.
The crystal gems?
The crystal gems.
Ah!
I didn't know Vikings were such big fans of bombs. I wasn't expecting so many bombs in this icy level.
Well, you know, they saw all the other cartoon villains and they had all their fancy gadgets like hammers and bombs, and like, we can do better than that. That was terrifying for a second.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna fall through these background elements.
I didn't think they were background, but I forgot that they fell down to cover the spikes. Also, I'm a little bit surprised that the snow is able to repel the spikes. Because it's like, I don't know, there's got to be a lot of snow there.
Well,
those little snowflakes that fall will hurt you.
Kind of thought so, since I see them shattering on the ground, but...
Maybe it's just really fancy particle effects.
Maybe I should just get close to one and find out.
Please don't. You haven't touched the save point in a little while. That would not be a good idea. Oh, was not expecting that.
Well, this is, like, as we've mentioned a few times now, Shovel Knight's like this amalgam of Capcom games and platformers from the NES era. Are there any platformers aside from, say, Mega Man, because I know that would probably otherwise be the answer, that stick out for you? Like, fond memories of platformers from the SNES or NES?
I remember playing Total Recall and having absolutely no idea what was going on.
Oh man, there was a Total Recall game?
Yeah, it was a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. At one point you'd like walk into an alley, and under some circumstances it pulls you in and forces you to fight a bunch of guys. There's another point where you go into an elevator and come out and you have to fight off all these people who are shooting at you.
Huh.
Having seen Total Recall now, I vaguely can understand where some of those scenes came from. Otherwise, I have no idea. But I have lots of fond memories playing like different platformer games. I remember playing The Noid.
Oh man.
Not for any good reason.
Way back.
That might have also been Capcom. I remember playing like a ROM for the Samurai Pizza Gats game.
Ha! Nice.
That was fun. Man, I remember playing a lot of ROMs. Dragon Ball Z ROMs. Game Boy Advance Dragon Ball Z game. Where you actually, it was a side scroller. Or a top down, like, I guess, Legend of Zelda style game. Oh, what was that other game I played? No, that wasn't RoboTrek. I don't know. I played a lot of different games. I can't think of any off the top of my head, other than like DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Mega Man, like Mario, Micro Machines.
I'm still pretty amazed that I never knew that there was a Darkwing Duck game.
I only played it once or twice.
Still,
I think I was more into it when I got older than when I watched it the first time. I remember having like a Genesis game for Tailspin and then it disappearing mysteriously. Anytime something disappeared mysteriously at home, I assume it's because me and my brother were not getting along and my parents hid it. Which I wouldn't blame them for.
Yeah.
Just like I have no idea. Oh, this is a neat mechanic. Actually, do you think it's supposed to be like the Rainbow Bridge?
Ooh, that would be like
next level.
Well, that'd be thematically on point, right?
Yeah.
Fits into the whole Viking idea, the whole aesthetic.
You're gonna have to work at this.
I'm going to have to jump.
I think you have to break the. I think you need to break the ice. You know, to let it up.
Oh, I see what you mean.
If that happened just slightly different, that would have been amazing. It's like a little bit later, it's like, I see what you mean. Suicide is the only option.
Well, there's that classic 60s song about it being painless. At least I assume it's 60s since it's the MASH theme.
Do you think that... I'm assuming the song was written for the show?
I'm gonna guess that that's the case, rather than, like, it being an actual...
Popular song?
Yeah...
If you kill the thing first, then you don't have to deal with it later. You got it.
Unless it was just a... not necessarily a popular song, but, like, an obscure song that somebody on the show really liked. They wanted to showcase it.
That's fair. Alright, I got a thing to talk about.
Oh, yeah?
Z, you were a big fan of JRPGs, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What about Secret of Mana?
Secret of Mana, surprisingly, I've not really played that much of.
Oh no!
I've played up to... I think it was like a tiger boss.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Up to. And I remember NPCs talking about like a witch causing trouble or something.
Oh, that's like the second or third. I think that's the third boss.
However, I did play rather extensively this Game Boy game, which is somehow related.
What does the fire not melt the ice?
Somehow related to Secret of Mana. It's like second densetsu for the GBA, I think, or GB, the Game Boy, OG, called Final Fantasy Adventure.
Okay.
Because for whatever reason, when they localized the
sad
Game Boy games,
there's so much level to get through still, Z.
When they localized the Game Boy versions of the games, they attached the Final Fantasy label to them for some reason. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it's like the same sort of game, just not with the graphical fidelity or two-player mode.
Right, like Kid Dracula or any of those kind of games that couldn't possibly be equivalent to their Super Nintendo or Nintendo equivalents.
Yeah. And I got really far in the Game Boy version, except it was one of those games from, that school of design that doesn't necessarily count the number of keys you're given in a dungeon and the number of doors in said dungeon, and not all doors lead to the exit. So I ran out of keys very late in the game and wound up trapped.
Is it possible to be like trapped, or can you go to another dungeon and find more keys?
As far as I remember, I was just trapped, because you could find keys in dungeons, but you could also buy them in towns.
Okay.
And I think the game sort of intended for you to buy a bunch of keys before going to this dungeon, which I did not do.
Okay. Oh. Just get to a save point.
No kidding.
Alright, well the reason I bring up Secret of Mana is because, maybe my follow-up point will be more interesting, is because they are remastering the game.
Oh, really?
And not even in terms of just news like, oh, they're remastering this game. There's a trailer for the new Secret of Mana game, and you can pre-order it right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this the trilogy that got released in Japan on the Switch?
No, somebody was like... So the new game is going to be released on PC, PS4, and PS Vita.
Okay.
Not on the Switch, and I saw in another thread somebody's like, well, what about the Switch?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any technical reason why it couldn't be on the Switch. But they also brought that up. It's like, well, no, they just ported the trilogy to the Switch in Japan only.
Yep.
But no, like it looks like it's different because it's a 3D game, kind of like the 3DS remakes of the different Final Fantasy games.
Cool.
It looks like it's the same mechanics. I don't know if they'll have the whole multiplayer shtick to it.
Especially on... Boy. Ladder jumping. Especially on the handhelds, I imagine that'd be fairly easy to do. Maybe a little bit of download play, like on the old DS, 3DS. I don't know how PS Vita works with its multiplayer stuff.
I don't know if it does multiplayer at all,
to
be honest. I wouldn't expect most handheld consoles to do that. But yeah, that was kind of cool. When I saw that, I was like, wait, is Square getting back into the JRPG game? Are we gonna see a 3D Chrono Trigger remake?
Oh man. Apparently apparently Square does have an indie, like, sub-company, I want to say.
Yeah.
Sort of like how book publishers will have imprints. And they do a fair few RPGs there.
Yeah.
There's like Octopath Explorer or something for the Switch that is like...
It's gone now.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing one by Cardboard Utopia, which is called Children of the Zodiarcs. After hearing about it at Otakuthon. You're gonna punch your way to victory.
I only know how to make dicey moves.
I guess. Yeah, but that's made by like one of the indie. I guess it's published by Square-Enix, but not created by Square. Is it Square-Enix or Square? I no longer have any idea.
I'm pretty sure it's still Square-Enix. I think they're still partnered up.
Square-Enix. Just go. Stop fighting the stupid dragon.
No, well, I was gonna fish.
Like, look at. Making me very uncomfortable, Z.
So I'm making myself uncomfortable as well. Okay, so he drops off rather than just jumping up in an arc.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Alright, you can do this. Don't forget the save point.
Well, I was thinking that I could destroy the blocks from the safety of a platform rather than the ladder, but yeah.
Yeah, so they're making a new Secret of Mana game, which I was very surprised to hear. I was like, why would anyone do that?
Yeah.
You know how this works, Edie.
Yeah.
It's taught you how to play the game.
Oh man. Have you seen any screenshots or?
I watched
like
the trailer.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
Does it look like it's just sort of the same kind of thing, like graphically, except in 3D, or?
Yes. It's hard to say because like it's a very dramatic transition from 16-bit graphics to like full 3D, like relatively modern, but not like necessarily the best because they're going for a particular aesthetic. Hey, that's pretty handy. Yeah. So it looks. Do you remember ever watching any of the Chrono Trigger remastered?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that level of graphics, but in the Secret of Mana style.
Man.
Because it's hard, because that game had a very distinctive, like, things kind of had a bit of an outline despite only being little pixely things.
For Secret of Mana? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then when you take that to 3D, it doesn't make sense.
Unless it's cel-shaded.
I mean, there's
it doesn't sound like it is, but
not particularly. It's got a very light pastel-y kind of look to it. He drops anchor, man.
Expecting a big haul.
I guess.
No.
I guess. We'll never know.
Nope.
Oh, excuse me. I think you can actually plow that through them.
Yeah. I did that with one of the Vikings earlier, so...
Oh, just rammed them?
Yeah, sure these hammer bros are no match for the double-headed chicken rainbow vomit machine.
Yeah, what you said. Definitely no match for that thing.
Nope. Okay, their whole body is
invulnerable.
Okay. I thought it was just their heads.
I think their weak spot is that giant bulbous thing.
That makes sense.
Hey, now you're playing with power.
And my parents didn't even help me hook it up.
Z. Good old reliable Z. Oh no. Good thing they put that dragon there.
I can't be too reliable until I memorize the Zelda commercial rap.
I'm not sure if that'd be really cool or really uncool if you were able to do that. It's definitely on one of those ends of the spectrum. It's not anywhere in the middle.
It's the Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are really bad. Octoroks, Tektites, and Levers too. But with your help, our hero pulls through. Yeah, wiki wiki wiki.
Wiki wow. That's how the next part goes, right?
Something like that.
That was
yeah.
the 90s?
Yeah. Oh man, talking about 90s. If you want to get a heaping helping of the 90s, just watch the movie Double Dragon. Inspired by
I
the video
vaguely
game.
remember that. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I vaguely remember it existing. There were a lot of video game movies. A lot of them were not good.
Which is kind of surprising, right? I mean, you wouldn't think that people would keep making something if they weren't sure that it would be good.
You must have just barely touched the spike
I
there.
think it did.
Oh, you're so close! So close. I mean, what? There was Mortal Kombat, Double Dragon, Mario Brothers,
Yeah.
things like Assassin's Creed, and... No, wait, didn't Tomb Raider... No, that was probably early 2000s.
I think that actually might have been like 1999. Because I think there was one called Tomb Raider Millennium, which was supposed to come out some point. It was a part of the marketing that it came out at some point in 2000 or 1999.
1990X.
But yeah, that was definitely one of the... Because I recently did watch Double Dragon. And one of the funnier parts is that...
Who's in that?
I don't know the actor's name, but if you're familiar with Iron Chef, the chairman is one of the main characters.
Yeah! Sorry, I remember reading the Wikipedia page on the chairman.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what? This guy's definitely not related to the Iron Chef Japan person. And he's not.
Just a bit of storytelling. But one of the funniest things about Double Dragon is that it was made in 1994, and it's set in the future. Dystopian, terrible, super corpo future. Like, what the 90s thought the future would be.
Yeah, today.
Well, can you guess at the year that they guessed that they had their future set in?
2007.
That is exactly right.
Yeah! Definitely haven't seen that. No, I'm not kidding. I just, I don't know. It has to be, the not-so-distant future. Hey, you did it! Okay, so it's set in 2007.
Yeah. That just seems such a 90s thing to say that, 13 years, there'll be a giant quake, most of California falls into the ocean.
Isn't that the second movie where that's happened?
Yeah, probably. The water is toxic, the air is toxic.
So today.
If Andy Dick is weatherman.
To your left, there's a...
Oh, yes.
Chicken.
Yep.
Chicken. Right, who's Andy Dick?
Comedian.
Okay.
With a very nasally voice.
Did you change the...
yeah.
That's so cool. So that character is normally a Norse male, and now it is a Norse female.
Yeah.
But I've never seen any of the reversed sprites. That's neat. She's got a lot of hair. Or is that a cloak? I'm not sure which.
I think it might be a cloak.
Right, so the air's bad, the water's bad, the people are bad, there's some bad dudes.
Yep.
And they want to save the president.
Cities owned by roving gangs.
Okay.
And if you're familiar at all with the movie The Warriors, it's kind of like that, where the different gangs have different themes. There's a clown gang that wears giant gloves and clown makeup.
So, juggalos?
Actually,
so today...
Was ICP a thing in the 90s?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Also, the juggalos are the good guys. Oh, you did it!
Thank you, Firewand.
Just don't mind the spikes that you're standing on top of.
It's fine, you're invincible after you get a victory in this game, surely, Too busy celebrating, hoisting your shovel.
Hoisting your petard.
Yep.
Not that. Alright, maybe we'll find out more about Double Dragon next episode of Fanthropological. Next time, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Hey, wake up. Hey, listen. Hey.
Whoa.
See, look at you, being a good steward of the earth.
It's important. It's important. I gotta... Hey, if this shovel breaks, I'm gonna need one of these trees to make a new one, right?
Yes. Exactly one tree for one shovel.
Yep.
That is the law of equivalent exchange.
Yes.